All right. Shalom, shalom. Like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. The brother Shabab Amawan back at you with another lesson and going into the title. All right, My Bloody Valentine, right? Going into Lupercalia, which today is, Valentine's Day. All right. There's going to be a lot of bloody Valentines, all right, brought upon the earth. Okay. Because a lot of people, always get judged after these holidays, right? And it's crazy because they're always around the same time of, our Sabbaths. All right, which our Sabbath is tomorrow, which we have a double Sabbath coming up from Sunday to Monday, then Monday to Tuesday. All right. But like I said, every time we celebrate these holidays, all right, judgment comes upon the earth. So best believe tomorrow when you wake up, all right, and for the rest of the week, you're going to hear about a lot of people dying on Valentine's Day. Okay. So, you're going to hear people getting stabbed up, women getting stabbed up, women getting shot, for committing adultery on days like this, because you got a lot of these bugged out women, all right, on these days, man, that they just be doing a whole bunch of nonsense of wickedness, man, all right, which I'll show you actually a video I ran into earlier on Instagram, which was just like, it was bugged out. You had a whole bunch of Eve just talking about why they're single for Valentine's, which is funny as hell. Because it goes to show you that these women ain't winning out here, man. All right. All these women, they ain't got no Valentine's date. They lonely as hell at the house. Why? Because nobody want to deal with their asses no more. Nobody want to deal with their wickedness no more. All right. But besides all that, let's go into what Lupercalia is. All right. Again, this is an AI overview. All right. The origins of Lupercalia. It says Lupercalia was an ancient Roman pastoral festival held from February 13th to the 15th, right? Rooted in 6th century BCE, fertility rites and founding myths. It says it honored Faunus, god of the agriculture and flocks, and the she-wolf Lupa, who nursed Romulus and Remus, priest Luperci, or Luperci, I believe it is, sacrificed goats and a dog at the Valentine Hills Lupercal cave, then ran through the city, lightly striking women and crops with the goat skin thongs, meaning the it says in parentheses, the february, to promote fertility, purification, and easy childbirth. Okay, so it says key origins and legends. It says mythological Salakia roots. Legends claim that the festival was established by Romulus and Remus, the twin founders of Rome, to honor the she-wolf who saved them. Okay, bugged out already. Because remember, those Romans and the Greeks, all right, they all worshipped, Greek mythology, man. All right, they were all into that, different gods that they had. All right, it says Greek influence. Some accounts suggest that the Greek hero Evander of Pallantium introduced a precursor to this festival, right? Based on Arcadia's Lycia, to the site of Rome 60 years before the Trojan War. The ritual priests, known as Luperci or Luperci, I believe it is, I keep saying that, or brothers of the wolf, ran near naked through Rome, striking spectators with strips of goat hide, which women often welcomed to ensure fertility. So look how wicked that shit was, that they were running around butt-ass naked, all right, with blood on, pieces of goat skin, all right, and they would smack the women in the face with it, basically, and it was all to ensure some type of fertility, all right. And as you can see in the picture in the background that I have, all right, see, they were doing shit like this in the time of you know, Lupercalia, you know, taking goats, smashing them, all right, committing bestiality with them, because that's how sick Esau is. See, Esau do things like that, man. All right, Esau promotes bestiality in this society today, you know, and makes it, you know, tries to normalize shit like that, showing you that. That's why the scriptures say that there's not a more profane person than Esau. Let's grab that real quick. This is Hebrews, all right, 12 and 16, and it reads, really, Hebrews 12 and 16, and it reads, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he had inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. All right, so basically, you know, going into him being a fornicator and a profane person. To be profane is to be, you know, let me just grab it real quick. I'm in the interlinear, right? Profane goes into bebelos, all right, and age. That's close enough to Babylon, all right, showing you that Babylon is a profane place, man, right? It says profane, unhallowed, right? Ungodly, you see? And when you go deeper into it, all right, it says basis or besis. It says a step walking that with which one steps the foot. All right, I didn't go into nothing on that. All right, but basically being into profane means to be immoral, man. All right, as a matter of fact, let's grab this definition of profane. All right, it says relating or devoted to that which is not sacred or biblical, secular rather than religious. Okay. The second part says not respectful or orthodox. All right, irrelevant. Okay, ungodly, godless. All right, we know that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not in his thoughts. We know that he is an ungodly person. Okay, as a matter of fact, when you go into it deeper, it goes into worldly, okay, earthly, you see, temporal. Those are heavy words because he's a worldly man. He's a temporal man. This rulership that we're in is a temporary thing. So he's also temporary because the Lord has him ruling for a period of time, and then he's going to be taken out of the earth, man. Going to be disintegrated and never to hear about, heard of again, right? Other words you have disrespectful, unbelieving, idolatrous. Okay, that's why he's very, you know, idolatrous with these different deities, you know, all these different gods that he creates, right? Then it says verb, treat something sacred with irreverence and disrespect. Okay, meaning what? To violate, defile, degrade, pollute, taint, contaminate. See, these are all words that Esau does, man. All right, he contaminates everything that he touches. He pollutes everything here on earth. Okay, everything that is, you know, righteous, he degrades it. Okay, and he has defiled everything here, man, to the point where he has even defiled our sanctuary. He has violated. Okay, so to be profane is just to be, you know, completely contrary to the Heavenly Father, basically. All right, in a nasty way, in a filthy way, right? So let's go back to this Lupercalia, right? Which I'm gonna grab. Let me take it from the Wikipedia. See if I can find something in there. Right. This is it says Lupercalia is also known as Lupercal, all right, which was an ancient festival in Rome, which we just read that. Observed annually on February 15th to purify the city, promoting health and fertility. All right. Let me see what else they got in here. Observances. It says sacrifices of goats and a dog by the Lupercalia, offering off of cakes by the Vestals fertility rite in which the goat skin clad Lupercalia strike women who wish to conceive. Okay, so that's already some immoral ass shit, filthy as hell. All right, and this is why they would take these goats and these dogs, and they were pretty much, you know, committing bestiality with them, man, because they were making sacrifices onto their gods with it. Okay, and here it is that these people today, our people, right? They want to go out there and they want to celebrate this day. You know, they go all out in that Queen of Heaven spirit. You know, want to go out there and they bend over backwards for a woman in this day, man. You know, go out of their way to spend their money and please a woman. All right. When at the end of the day, you know, you should be like that. That, you know, not, you know, worshiping your woman or nothing, but you should love your woman every day if you have a wife. You see, so they want to pick one day to go ham and go crazy on it, you know, and buy all these things, you know, pretty much make themselves broke. All right, for one night of, you know, sexual desires, man. All right, which that goes back into, you know, the spirit of Bacchus, which I'll grab in a second, you know, because the spirit of Bacchus was basically them, you know, reveling in wine, you know, and sexual desires, paganistic, you know, offerings, paganistic, you know, ways. All right, because that's what this is. This is a pagan holiday. All right, so a lot of weirdo shit be happening, you know, especially when you involved with these elites. All right, they're out there having straight orgies, you know, and they doing it in, you know, in the most immoral way possible. Okay, so what else we got here? We got it says name. The festival was originally known as February, purifications or purgings. After Febrium, which was used on the day, it was also known as Februatus. All right, which, hey, February is not even supposed to be in the calendar, man. See, we go according to what you call the Gregorian calendar. Okay, so you know you got January and February were just added into the months. Okay, and it was based on, you know, them worshiping their gods. It says after the February, which was used on this day, it was also known as Februatus and gave its name variously as how you say this word? Let me make sure I say it right. Come on. Don't kick me out. Give me a second real quick. The word I was looking for is epithet. Epithet. Maybe that's what it is. Epithet. Define. Epithet, yeah. It says an adjective, and descriptive phrase expressing a quality characteristic of a person or thing mentioned. Okay, so let's go back. Right, it says as epithet to Juno, Februalis, and Febrata in her role as patron deity of that month, to a supposed purification deity called Februarus, and to February. Okay, the month during which the festival occurred. Ovid connects February to Etruscan word for purging. The name Lupercalia was believed in antiquity to evince some connection with the ancient Greek festival of Arcadian Lycaia, right? Come on. It says a wood festival, ancient Greek, and the worship of Lycian Pan, assumed to be a Greek equivalent to Fayunus. I hate these words, man. These fucking pagan ass words and shit. As instituted by Evander, Justin describes a cult image of the Lycian god. Let me make sure I'm saying that right. Damn, it won't even let me go into it. It says, continuing on, the Lycian god, whom the Greeks call Pan and the Romans Lupercus, as nude save for a goat skin girdle. Okay. It says the statue stood in Lupercalia, the cave where the tradition held the Romulus and Remus were suckled by the sheep wolf Lupa. The cave lay at the foot of the Palatine Hill, in which Romulus, was thought to have founded Rome. And as a matter of fact, now that they're saying that, this is what they're talking about with the dog. They said they were giving suckling to it. This is, I had posted it up on Instagram. So basically, they had this statue of this dog, all right, that they were just sucking on the nipples of it, basically. Weirdos, man. All right, so you got two pictures. You got this one right here, right? And then you got this one right here is the other one. You see? This is the type of weirdo shit that they be doing. Who sits there and sucks on some damn, nipples of a dog? But you could leave it up to Esau to do that. That's why you had Job said what he say, man. Job said in 30, let me grab that real quick, 30:1, that he will have him disdain from the flock of his dogs, man. He wouldn't even want to have his dogs around these people, because leave it up to Esau. Esau do some weirdo shit. All right. And you see that today. You hear about it on the news all the time. You see it on social media all the time. Esau doing some weirdo shit with dogs, man. All right. They'll have dogs and they be tonguing them down and shit. Oh, I love my dog. Job 30:1, it says, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. You see? NLT says, but now I am mocked by the people younger than I, by young men whose fathers are not worthy to run with my sheepdogs. Okay? Why? Because they do weirdo things, man, around animals. Okay? Esau the one that brought all that bestiality around our people, man. Okay? And our people be bugged out following after that shit. All right, while I'm in Instagram, let me read a little bit of these things, right? It says Lupercalia is an old pagan festival from ancient Rome. Lupercalia means wolf, and celebrated the twin founders of Romulus and Remus, all right, and who were cared for by a she-dog. All right, same thing we're reading, basically. It says on Lupercalia, all right, which I'm bringing it out of this little thing right here. It says on Lupercalia, two groups of priests would meet in the Lupercal cave. One group of priests were descended from Romulus and the other one from Remus. Okay. Then you got Lupercalia began with a feast and lots of wine. After the feasting, the priest would sacrifice goats, one dog to the old gods. Okay. And remember that it's began with the feast and lots of wine, because I'm going to bring that Bacchus up, right? Then it says, afterward, all the priests would leave the cave and make whips from the hides of the sacrificed goats. They ran naked up and down in the streets of the city, lightly whipping the people as they ran. Wicked as hell, man. Right? Then it says, men would draw names from a bowl to couple up. Sometimes it would be just for the festival, but it sometimes led to marriage. You see? Look at that. Men would draw names from a bowl to couple up on some wicked shit, on some pagan shit. Okay? Then you got, it says, over time, Lupercalia increased the popularity and transformed into a festival that celebrated fertility, childbirth, and honored Lupercus, what does it say there? The god of fertility, Salakia. All right. Then it reads again. This is another part. Let me see if it's saying the same thing. Yeah, they're pretty much saying the same thing. All right. So let me grab this Bacchus real quick. This is on my spirit. I don't want to forget about it. This is what is that? Romans 13:11, right? Check this out. It says, and that knowing the time that it is now high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe, right? It says the night is far spent and the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the whole armor of light. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and in drunkenness, not in chambering and in wantonness, not in strife and in envying. But put ye on the Lord Yahushua Hamashiach and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof, right? When you go into this word rioting, right, in the interlinear, it goes into the word komos, right? It says a revel, a carousel. It says a nocturnal or and riotous procession of half-drunken and frolicsome fellows who after supper parade through the streets with torches and music in honor of Bacchus or some other deity, and sing and play for houses of male and female friends. Hence use generally of feasts and drinking parties that are protracted till late at night and indulge in revelry. And that's what you see in these bars today, in these bars and these clubs tonight. You know, it's going to be the after party. All right. After the party is the after party. All right. And what happens in these after parties, man? There's a lot of sexual, you know, desires being fulfilled. Okay. And in a time like this, depending where you're at, you know, you might be at the wrong party at the wrong time where you see some weirdo shit. All right. Especially, you know, partying with Esau on days like this. All right. So that spirit of Bacchus, right, was for them to basically, you know, have these after parties with males and female friends. All right. And usually, all right, the way Esau do things like that, he turned it into a whole orgy, man. Okay. And as a matter of fact, to prove, let me go to Bacchus real quick. Deity Bacchus, Wikipedia. All right. It says Bacchus is the Roman god of agriculture, wine, and theater, fertility, and theatrical drama. So that's why I said keep in mind that they were talking about that they want to do it was a festival of wine. All right, so they're really doing it in the honor of Bacchus, man. Okay, it says equivalent to the Greek god Dionysus. These fucking words. Dionysus. It says Dionysus. It says as the son of Jupiter and Semele, or Semele, he represents both joyful revelry and chaotic, madding ecstasy. You see, and to be in ecstasy is to be in basically in pleasure. You know, reaching heights that you don't normally reach, man. And that's why they get all together and they do all these, you know, paganistic, you know, desires. All right. They indulge in sexual activities of, you know, orgies. Okay. And they do a lot of sexual rituals. Okay. And it's pretty much, you know, that spirit that they'll push upon our people. That's why our people go, you know, out of their way to go please their woman for one day. And most of these women are cheating already on their husbands, cheating on their, you know, their man. All right. A lot of these women, you got multiple men. All right. As a matter of fact, now that I said that, let me grab that video I seen on Instagram based on that. All right. What was it? It was in the Brother Yeremia. Check this out.
Because a nigga thought that he gonna buy me what he want to buy me. And
so it says right here. Let me see what it says in the beginning. It says Eve single for one day, but 4 threes for the rest of the year. So they're about to tell you why they're single, and they're all putting a candle, all right, which they don't even realize they're doing a whole ritual, but they're putting on a candle for everything that they say. They put a candle on the cake, you know, and this is, you know, now they got this thing, it's called Happy Valentines, all right, it's with the girls now. Lately, that's been something like I say in the last 3 years that has become, you know, trendy and popular because all these women are fucking single now. Nobody want to deal with these women no more. So now they want to get up with themselves, talking about, oh, we don't need no man, but we got our girls. And a lot of them be on some wicked shit, and then that night they all getting drunk, and trust me, they doing some weirdo shit too. Okay? Because these women have a desire in that day. You know, they have a certain a sexual desire in that day. They want to be, you know, taken by a man and, you know, want to have pleasure, but because they ain't got no man, all right, they'll find ways to bring pleasure within themselves, man. Okay?
Valentine's Day because a nigga thought that he gonna buy me what he want to buy me, and I'm single for Valentine's Day because a nigga thought that he gonna buy me what he want to buy me, and I what the fuck I want.
So she said, I'm single because I do what the fuck I want, and the nigga think that he gonna run it by me. Weirdo, man. All right. So the next one.
Single for Valentine's Day because fuck these niggas. Oh shit.
Oh my bad. She said.
Single for Valentine's Day because a nigga thought that he gonna buy me what he want to buy me, and I what the fuck I want.
She said, and she said also, I buy what the hell I want. She thought she said she make a man buy whatever she wants. Right? The next one, I'm single for Valentine's Day because fuck these niggas. Yo, I'm gonna read what they saying first, and then I'll play the whole video. Then the next one, I'm single for Valentine's Day because it's just fucking period. What?
It's just fucking period. I'm single for Valentine's Day because
I'm single for Valentine's Day because I'm a hoe and I be selling it. Yo.
Oh, and I can sell it.
And they think that shit is funny, man.
I'm single for Valentine's Day because
she said, I'm single for Valentine's Day because I won't put up with you nigga shit. Sorry, baby. It's Big Mama.
I'm not single, I'm married. I love my husband. I love you, baby.
She said, I'm not single, I love you. I have a husband, I love you, baby. Nah though. Period. Hold on. Well, the last one was. Hold on. What the hell? She said, I'm not single, but it's still I'm not single, but it's still fucking a nigga. You see what I mean? So she not single, but she's still talking about smashing another man, man. And still want to say, forget about a man. So what the hell you with a man for, man? See, this is why these women is fucking done out here, man. That's why they have no more, you know, these men are not dealing with them no more. That's why most of these women gonna die alone out here, man. Because their morals is all messed up. All right, now I'll play the whole thing. She said, and we single because we already some hoes and we don't give a shit about whatever she said after that. And then here goes a bunch of twerks. Right?
Because a nigga thought that he gonna buy me what he want to buy me. And I'm single Valentine's Day because a nigga thought that he gonna buy me what he want to buy me. And I what the fuck I want. Fuck nigga. I'm single Valentine's Day because fuck these niggas. Oh shit. My bad. I'm single Valentine's Day because it's just fucking nigga period. I'm single for Valentine's Day because I'm a hoe and I can sell it. I'm single for Valentine's Day because I want to with you for shit. Sorry, it's big. I'm not single, I'm married. I love my husband. I love you, baby. No. Oh shit. I'm not single, but you period. And we single because we already some hoes that we don't talk about Valentine's Day because a nigga thought.
And see, these are gonna be the same women that you're gonna see crying in about 2-3 months when all hell start breaking. You know, when all hell breaks loose. I'm not saying in 2-3 months it's gonna happen. All right, but when all hell breaks loose, these are gonna be the women that, you know, gonna be crying desperately. All right. As a matter of fact, these gonna be the same women when, you know, a lockdown comes down, or they take away your welfare, or they take away your SNAP benefits. These women gonna be crashing out, you know. These are going to be the same women, all right, that the Lord going to judge, all right, and it's going to be in the weirdest way where you basically needed a man to help you and a man wasn't there for you. Why? Because you had that energy of fuck a nigga, you see? So you're going to be in that spirit of forget the man, I don't need a man, I could do better by myself. Well, that's why the Lord going to leave you by yourself in those last days, man. That's why you're not going to be worthy to have a man of the Lord, okay? And you're going to regret and eat those words, and you got to keep that same energy. That's the key thing. Keep that same energy that your ass had when all hell breaks loose, man. All right, and we see it all the time, bro. We brothers always bringing out videos of women crashing out on the web when something ain't going their way, man. And it's funny when they crash out because it's like, but why? Why are you crashing out? Weren't you saying that you didn't need this man? Weren't you saying that you were good doing things by yourself? All right, so why are you not keeping that same exact energy? Well, see, when I see women crying on the web and they going through some crazy shit, I laugh at that shit. I love it. I love it. You know, you can call me harsh, whatever the hell you want to call me. I love seeing the misery on women's faces, man, because our women have that mentality of just like, you know, like they the shit. They like the world owes them something. And see, that's because Esau put that in their spirit. You know, that's that going back to the garden spirit, man. You know, you could be like a god. You could rule everything. Don't worry about nothing but yourself, okay? And you're above all things. And that's why, as the scriptures say, you know, I have created a new thing on the earth that a woman should compass a man. So these women in that top level of thinking, they just, you know, they the shit. So when these things happen that, you know, it brings them down to their misery and the Lord humbles them, now you want to cry and bring out your little feminine side of tears. When your ass was walking in feminism and you was trying to be masculine, you know, why can't you keep them same muscles that you were rocking before? Okay. And see, that's why many great miseries is going to be done to them that in the latter time walked in great pride. Okay. Let's grab this before I forget. This is Amos 5 and so like Amos 5 and I think it's 21 around there. I hate and I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. All right, because the Lord hates all these feast days that are you know, contrary to his ways, man. The Lord gave us holy days, man, to celebrate. All right, he gave us our own holidays, our own feast days to have, all right, according to the scriptures. And we totally turned those down for these wicked ass pagan holidays, right? It says, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies, though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. All right, yeah, because these people in these days, they get up, you know, they'll get up together, have a little party, throw a little cookout, you know, want to sit around a table and pray real quick, hold hands, all right, and then go right back into their wickedness, right? And they think that the Lord hearing their prayers or, you know, taking their offerings that they're putting up in the air, man. It says, take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols. All right. The Lord don't want to hear none of them, the music that's being played. Okay. Because all that music is wicked. Okay. Especially in today's, on a day like today, man, these people playing some straight sexualized music. All right. Filthy music that's just, you know, basically promoting to indulge in adultery and wickedness, you know, into homosexuality, lesbianism. All right, so a whole bunch of fagonometry is being pushed, right? It says, but let judgment run down as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. See, so judgment is going to come upon these people eventually, man. All right. That's why I'm telling you, watch, just the next day, tomorrow, read the news. Sunday, read the news. Going all the way into next Friday, this Friday coming up, you're going to hear about women getting killed, stabbed, shot by their exes, by men, you see? Because these women were indulging in all this crazy extra wicked shit, man. You see? They were basically, you know, this is why a lot of these people are going to be taken away in judgment, because they're like in the days of Noah, they were doing what? They were celebrating, right? Let's grab that real quick. This is Matthew 24 and 37, and it reads 36, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating, drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into that ark, you see. And he knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be, you see. And that's that same spirit they're in today, you know. They're constantly in you know, festivities, all right, like we just read, and rioting and wantonness, you know, and strife and envying. And here it is that we're in perilous times. They're in the spirit of what? They're in the spirit of mirth. All right, as the Lord said, the house of the wise is in the spirit of mourning, but the house of fools is in the spirit of mirth. So these people are just constantly having a good old time, all right, and evils are multiplying upon the earth. Having a good old time, and Esau's plotting behind your back, ready to slaughter you, you know. He ready to slaughter men, women, and children. And y'all out there having a good old time in these clubs and these bars, okay? Looking to be sexualized for the night, all right? And then you want to cry about, I can't find a man. Where's my soulmate? You know, crying out the window, looking out the window, hoping that Prince Charming comes, all right? While you have hundreds of bodies underneath under your belt buckle, basically, okay? And they want somebody to take care of them. They feel like a man, that they deserve a man to give them everything and bow down to them. Get the fuck out of here, right? It says, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying, you know? Marrying, sex is marriage, man. So these people are indulging in a lot of sexual activity, all right? And marrying also in these, you know, chapels, you know, making covenants with the heathen, okay? Because that's not our way of actually, you know, basically dealing, all right? We're not supposed to be dealing in churches and getting married in that way, all right? We have our own way of doing certain things, man. We're supposed to have a ceremony, you know? You're really supposed to be dealing with a virgin. A cloth gets cut, and you got to put you know, there was certain things that they would do, certain way in our culture to come about these things, all right? But we don't even live in that type of way no more, man. So these people out here just marrying in these churches, doing it, you know, according to the Western philosophy, all right? Every time that they, you know, they putting rings on women's fingers, you know, you're worshiping the god of Saturn, okay? All that shit has its own weirdoness, man, its own deities, its own wickedness. All right. And the Lord hate every single one of those things. And that's why, like I said, judgment within this next week is going to be heavy, real heavy. All right. So let me see if I got anything else. This is Ecclesiastes 26 and 11. Watch over an impudent eye and marvel not if she trespass against you. Yeah, don't be mad. All right, if your woman, all right, because remember, these women today, shit, they got a man for everything. They got a man for food. They got a man for sexual activity. They got a man for laughs. They got a man to buy drinks. You see, they got a man for every little category that benefits them. All right, so don't be mad if, you know, she will one today, you know, then she'll leave you in about an hour. Tell you she's gonna go hang out with her friends, but she with a whole nother man. All right. Tomorrow she's gonna be laid up with a whole nother dude. You see, you can't marvel, all right, if these things happen, because the Lord told you that she's gonna trespass against you. The Lord put a curse on our women, right? That a woman shall be betrothed and she'll have a whole husband. So a man gonna end up lying with your woman. You see, that's why you need a woman of the Lord. That's why, you know, us being in this truth, we have to be, you know, yoked together with believers, man, because believers know their place. But if you in the world, man, you're going to get them worldly results, them carnal results. And those are carnal results right there. You know, everybody cheating behind each other back. All right. Committing adultery. All right. And I ain't even going to say cheating because there ain't no such thing as cheating for men if you're dealing with multiple women. All right. But you women will. The women will cheat out here. And a lot of, oh, well, why no man can be cheating, but we are cheating? Because that's just the way the Lord set it up, and leave it at that. All right, you got a problem with it, take it up with the Lord. Okay? But, you know, this is, you know, a heavy day, man, of paganism today. And a lot of judgment, like I said, is about to be played out. So that's pretty much the point, you know, going based into this Lupercalia, My Bloody Valentine series. All right, this is... Let me grab they're very cocky. Hell yeah, they're very cocky, man. It's annoying to see women in that cocky spirit. Cause like you a whole woman, you know. A brother want to see that soft side. Okay. This is Proverbs 6:28. It says, can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? He that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. Exactly. All right. You're not supposed to be, you know, touching another man's wife, looking at another man's wife, you know, eyeball fucking her and shit. You know, like, nah, man, that's wicked as hell. You have to have respect. The Lord has taught us respect in His truth, man. Taught us morals to live by. Okay. See, Babylon the Great is confusion. So everything in Babylon the Great is immoral. It's vanity. All right. Again, it's against the Heavenly Father's will. That's why we need to get the hell up out of here. That's why the Lord said, arise and depart, because this is not your rest, man. Everything here is polluted. So it's going to destroy you with a sword of destruction. Why? Because there's nothing but sin around us, man. All right. But I'll leave it there through the Spirit, Lord willing that you will edify. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, call Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakat Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith, enduring as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. Shalom.